Hello, yeah. Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? Hi, I'm Maja. You can find me as sjomajlin on Ravelry and Instagram. Today is Thursday, July 2nd. It's been almost 2 weeks since I recorded last time. As I told you last time that I would be... excuse me. That I would be busy last week. So we'll give you a short update and then I will do the yarny stuff and then I will tell you a little bit more for those of you who are interested and want to hear about that, but for those of you who are mostly interested in the yarny stuff, yeah, you know. Okay, so anyway, this is, as I said, Thursday and it's so warm. I have 28 degrees indoors. And these days are pretty rare. We don't know, I mean, I don't have an AC or anything. The only thing I can do is open the windows. But it's even warmer outside, so, or it's about the same outside, so it doesn't really help. So it's so warm. I've been sitting outdoors or outside all morning. It's about 12 o'clock right now, like noon. Yeah. So I've been sitting outside in the shadow. And there's a slight breeze, which is lovely, but it was just too warm, so I had to go inside and it's even warmer inside, so, but I just needed the change of, what do you say, environment, so I decided to sit down to record. So, I mean, no makeup, no hair, not anything, because it's just too warm. As I said, these days are pretty rare where I live, but I love them, but it's still really warm. So last week I was at camp. I will talk a bit more about that after the yarny stuff for those of you who are interested, but it was lovely. It's a camp for adults who are mentally disabled. The thing is, I talk about that demographic sometimes, and I always say that I never learn what the PC way to talk about them is. Because the thing, and some of you usually tell me, like, this is how you say it, and thank you very much for that. The thing is, in Swedish, the politically correct words changes ever so often because of, I don't even know. So I'm thinking somehow that if I learn what is the right way to say it in English, then it will change and then I will be rude without meaning it. So it doesn't stick. And I'm sorry, I absolutely don't mean to be rude or what's the word? You know what I mean. And I really can't think of the word. It's too warm, you guys. What do you say though? Well, condescending. You know what I mean. But that group of people, anyway, I am, like, you know, the staff, part of the staff on that camp, even though all of us are volunteering, so it's not like we're working or getting paid or anything, but and this is too warm. This is too warm. This is what you have to deal with this time around, because yeah, so I spent last week, or Tuesday through Sunday last week, just by the ocean. Like, I guess the lodging was, I don't know, 100 meters from the ocean. I could see the beach from my bed, but I couldn't see the ocean because it was, you know, a bit of an angle. So we were just right by the ocean, and for all of those days we had sunny weather for one afternoon. the rest of the time. We had some rain, but mostly it was just overcast and grey, and some rain as well. But we had one day of sun, so it's a bit... and I never learn. The most common way to say it's that it is ironic, and that is really not what it is, but you know what I mean. Typical that this weather is now and not last week, but I'm on staycation right now, and I will have quite a few weeks off from work yet, so I don't really mind. It's good, it's fine. So last week I didn't have... I did bring knitting, and I did knit during that week, but not a lot. I did keep my sock that I will show you in a minute in the staff room, and I did pop in there, you know, every once in a while to just knit a row for my soul. So I got some knitting done, but not a lot. I did not get, you know, any progress really, which was fine, because that was not what I was there for. Yeah, and now I got home on Sunday, and as I said, this is Thursday. So I was thinking, because that camp is... I was very, very tired after camp, so I was thinking that I should, you know, oh, then I can sit at home, catch up on podcasts and knit and just, you know, relax. But turned out I just needed to sleep. I napped and napped and napped and went to bed early. Sunday, Monday, partly Tuesday as well. Sure, I've gotten some knitting done as well, but I've been really catching up on my sleep, and just really have... I really needed to be just quiet. I didn't have any like music or anything on, I just needed quiet. So now I'm back. I'm fit for fight again. So I have some progress to show you with my knitting since 2 weeks ago, but not as much as if I had been busy knitting 2 weeks. I will, however, show you another finished object before I show you the finished knitting. This is just oh, I don't even know what you call it in English. Like, you can have water or lemonade or whatever, and then you just pour it. I made some wasp covers, I guess. So this is a large one, like regular beads, and then you iron with some paper in between. I don't know what it's called. So this goes on top of this. As I said, it's a picture maybe? I don't know. To hopefully keep out wasps if you are, you know, picnicking or whatever. And then I did a whole bunch of these smaller ones with holes in. So I will show you. I guess you get it though. So you put that on your glass with maybe something sweet that will attract the wasps, and then you can put a straw down in the middle. So I did quite a few different ones of those in different patterns and different shapes. The idea being that I will give these to my brother's family, and well, my nephews, like summer gift. So, oh, there is some paper that I need to remove. It got stuck. So I will do that. It looks like that. So I did finish those. I just got crazy with these. I think it was on Monday. I didn't knit all day Monday. Well, I did a tiny little bit, but I just got crazy with the beads. So that is finished. That is a finished object as well. as I've said before, this is a knitting, mostly knitting, but then also yarny podcast, but I will also mention other crafty stuff. Oh, and by the way, I just want to quickly mention, I did post, was it on Tuesday? A little video of me singing a song in Swedish with very original lyrics by yours truly. In the idea that, because I couldn't get an episode up, so I was thinking that I'll just pop something else up there. And I got some comments and I got some likes on it. Thank you for that. And then after about, I've taken it down. I had it up for about 24 hours, during which time I lost so many subscribers. Who, I mean, I guess they are not seeing this either. And obviously it's okay, I can't, you know, subscribing or watching or liking or whatever is optional. I can't make you do anything. But I lost so many subscribers, so I took it down. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it, but just to explain to you guys who might, because I did post it to Instagram as well, that I had uploaded something and then I took it down, as I said, about 24 hours later. So, you know, it is what it is. I just wanted to let you know. Yeah. I'm tangled up in my own thoughts, and it's so warm, and yeah, whatever. So that is a finished object that I have that is not yarny, but it's still created. Then I have two finished objects that are yarny, and I don't know why I just said 4. I have 2. First is this thing that I don't even know what it's called, hamsvar, maybe. That is knit with my hand spun. And let me see, I'm pretty sure. No, seems like I didn't. Because I had kept the, well, not ball bands, but the same. So the grey one is Gotland yarn anyway, and the reddish orangey one is, I think it's a wool silk blend that I had bought and spun up. So this is, and I'm not putting this on, way too warm, but you can wear it as a cowl with this kind of drawstring detail, and then you could, let me just tie the drawstring up, something like that. That is just an I-cord, and you can wear it as a hat, a slouchy hat. I guess I could pop that on. So it's quite big, and it's way too warm. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I believe it was called Hamsvar with Z or C, however you pronounce that letter where you're from. Yeah, so I finished that. And obviously it is not weather for this right now, so I will save that for later. I did also finish this sweater. And it's way too warm right now. I will edit in right now a little video of me talking more about this when it's a bit colder, hopefully. So welcome to my bathroom, which probably sounds like I'm talking in a little box and the lighting is a bit off, but this is the coldest part of my apartment and the only place that I could even imagine putting this weather on. So this is the sweater. As you can see, the design, the fit of it is a bit unusual. I quite like it. It is more or less unnamed. It is out of the Creative Knitting magazine. I've talked about it before. I did some modifications to it. The pattern gives you directions to do the sleeves striped. As I was just finishing the body, can you even see me? As I was just finishing the body, you knit it bottom up. I realized I was running out of yarn, so I decided to do the sleeves just in the one color. And then of course when I was done I found another skein that I had, I don't even know, put in a purse, I don't even know. So I could have made them, but whatever. So I made the sleeves just the one color, obviously. The pattern gives you directions to knit them flat and knit them in the round. So you just have to sew them in right here. So I did some sort of mattress stitch. However, as you can see, can you even see? The stitches goes in different directions. So I'm not sure if it's called mattress stitch when it's not, you know, lining up, but pretty much a mattress stitch around. And that was the only assembling work that I had to do. I did also change, I knit a few more rows after the decreases, and then the pattern gives you directions to just bind off and then sew the rolled edge down, because you don't do any ribbing or anything. I decided to do an I-cord to help the rolling, and I need to sneeze. Just one. That was weird. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's slightly modified. And it's, you can't even see, it goes down to kind of to my hips, to my hip bones. But as it's very much a dropped shoulder, so if I, you know, lift my arms, the sweater will come up as well. And I have another sneeze coming. Oh, it's so close, it's painful. The yarn is, excuse me, I'm sorry. The yarn is a cotton acrylic mix that I bought from Yarn Paradise. It's an ice yarn. It might be called Mojito, but I'm not sure. It's a 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, I believe. So it's not as warm as if it had been knit in wool, obviously. And it did, I did soak it. I didn't block it, but I soaked it and then let it dry. And something happened to the yarn. I don't know if, I wouldn't say the yarn bloomed, but the stitches were a bit more filled in, so I was very happy with doing that. You do knit, as I said, from the bottom up. So you knit in the round up to there, and then you knit the front piece and the back piece flat, or back and forth, before you join it back in the round again. So for this part, I'm sorry, for this part you have, well, obviously alternating purls and knits. So it did even it out some that I didn't block it, but I soaked it to relax the knitting. And I am very, very happy with the result. And I am sure that I will use this a lot when it's colder. Yeah. So I finished this. I was working like crazy on it. So I went to, the camp that I went to started on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, so the staff all went there on, or we started earlier, like Wednesday morning, to prepare and stuff. So I went there on Tuesday evening, so I spent one night there before the rest got there, just to, you know, settle or be there, set my mind. So I didn't have a time to catch as I left on Tuesday, but I had my own plan of when I wanted to leave to be there, have time, because it's about a 2.5–3 hours drive. So I was sitting, working feverishly to finish this, just as I was about to leave. So I was late, but as I said, I didn't have a time to catch. But compared to my plan, I was late. And also the pattern gives you a chest pocket, and I had planned to make it, but I thought when I was leaving that I wouldn't do it right now. I would save it for later. And now I don't really know. I kind of like it as it is, so we'll see. We'll see. But I finished that anyway, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah. So those are my finished objects. I also have a half object, which is this sock that I've showed you before. The pattern is Brainless by Yarnissima. It's a free pattern available on Ravelry. It's knit sew up, and it's pretty simple, but the thing is this braid you can see going up the sides. It goes up both sides, and then it opens up for this purl stitch or reverse stocking stitch gusset, and then it goes together again. And the pattern gives you suggests that you will make a ribbed cuff. No, ribbed leg, and not just the cuff, but I chose to do the ribbing just for the cuff. So I worked on this at camp, because we had a rainbow theme, so I thought, of course, I need to bring my rainbow project. So I finished the first one, and and excuse me for leaning, but that's just how it is today. And I've started the second one. Let me pop it on here. So I've just finished the heel on that one, and the gusset, and the heel turn, and the heel flap. And I've just done the cable-y thing right there. So I will work up the leg and then do the cuff. So I'm more than halfway through this sock, I would say, but it's coming along. And I've worked on these socks for quite a while, partly because, well, I wanted to get the sweater done, so I prioritized that before I left, excuse me, for camp. And then I also knew that, excuse me, and there's a bus. I knew that I wanted to bring these as camp knitting, so I sort of saved it for that. The yarn is Opal, surprise. There you go. The colorway is 4061, and this is Opal's like normal sock. What do you say? It's 75% wool, virgin wool even, and 25% polyamide. So it's a good sturdy sock yarn. And I'm working this on size 2mm Knit Pro carbons. My favorites sock needles. So that is one work in progress, and then I'm still working on this cotton cowl, Mobius cowl even. Oh, and I just dropped the stitch, and I just twisted it like that. Yeah, so you can see that it has this cross over or twist right there. So I haven't done a lot of progress on this either. I'm working the hot pink right now. I'm thinking though I might bind it off pretty soon, because I don't want it to be too tall. You know, it is like that right now, so I'm thinking I might cast it on bind it off pretty soon, but I haven't really. It's too warm to make any decisions, really. I need to look at it some more, but I have quite a lot of yarn left. And that is also a work in progress you've seen before. And then I started a new work in progress. Or a new project, really. Which is the Linus shawl, or Linus. Which is a very plain, simple boomerang shawl. The thing is, my surname is Linusson, which is son of Linus. So I was like, obviously I need to knit myself a Linus shawl, because it's almost like Linusson. Obviously. I did post this to Instagram. I had started this a few days ago. I worked quite a few hours on it. I had made a lot of progress. And then this morning I decided that I believe I was knitting it on size 4mm needles, and I just decided that no, it's too dense, so I ripped it all out. And I just cast it back on 5.5mm needles. And I like this fabric a lot better. It's more lofty, I don't know, airy. So I have a lot of this, and I don't have I don't even know, energy to soak it and hang it back up, or you know, to even this to get rid of the ramen style. So I'm just working it as it is. So I've been working on this way more than I have to show for, and this is out of my handspun. And I don't really remember, and I'm sure I put the ball band or the braid band somewhere. It's right here. This is, oh, it just says it's merino silk. It doesn't give the different percentages. Percentages? I don't even know. But this is some hand spun in a way, and I'm knitting from it, and I love it. I'm loving it. It didn't hold. I mean, I can tell there's a difference now that I've ripped it out once. It's holding up. It's holding up totally, but I can tell that something happened to it, you know? It's a bit worn. But yeah, it is what it is. And so this is on my Knit Pro Symphony Wood interchangeable needles. So as I said, this is 5.5. And this yarn is a bit uneven, so in some places it's just felt ridiculous to work on these large needles. As in this green part, you can tell almost it's very loose. And then in some other places it's more dense, or yeah, whatever. Those are my works in progress. And then I did also buy some yarn, and I don't really know what happened, because I bought some more cotton. And as I've said before, I don't really like working with cotton. I don't really mind, I guess. I don't hate it. I know a lot of people do, and it hurts their hands and stuff. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. But I just fell for these colors. So this is very pale green. I would say, in Swedish, I would say that it's a lindblomsgrön. And I don't know at all, but that is in English. But it's a very pale, cold green. It shows up fairly well on my viewfinder. So it's the same Birgit cotton that I've showed you a million times, and that I've worked with a million times by now. So it's 100% cotton, it's 50 grams per ball, and it's 165 meters. It calls for size 3mm needles. And as I said, I just fell for the colors. So I'm thinking I will knit a Linus shawl out of this as well. So it's a simple, as I said, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a very simple, just plain stockinette, garter stitch boomerang shawl. So I will knit a big, hopefully, summer Linus out of this sometime soon, probably. And then I also got this, which is a bit tonal or variegated, in also these kind of cold tones of pink and, I don't know, almost shades of purple, and almost like a little rust tone to it. And so this is Irene. So it is the same yarn, but the variegated ones are called Irene instead of Birgit. So it's the same, excuse me, it's the same as this multicolored one. But it's the same, it's 100% bomull, it's 100% cotton. 50 grams per ball and 165 meters, so it's the same yarn really. And I don't know, I was thinking maybe knit like a summer hat out of this. Something like that. I haven't really decided exactly on what, but something like that. Yeah, so I bought some more cotton. What can you do? Yeah, so that is really the crafty stuff that I've got for you right now. I will mention, I did start to read in the, I didn't bring it, the So Warm book about twined knitting, and it's very interesting. There is some text, like background and stuff like that, that is very interesting. And I will soon cast on to start knitting. The thing is, I had tried it before, the twined knitting, and I didn't really, you know, crack it. But I got it, kind of. The thing that is really the problem, I would say, is that, well, I knit continental. Is that what it is? I keep the yarn in my left hand and I pick the stitches. But with twined knitting, you knit with 2 strands of yarn, either out of the same skein or 2 different skeins or even 2 different colors. And you twine the yarns, the floats on the backside between each stitch. And so you can do it in different ways, but like the recommended way to do it is by throwing the yarn, really. So you go, and I don't have anything to show you with, but you go through the stitch and then you pick the yarn that is, you know, furthest away to twine it around the other working yarn and then do the stitch. And as I've been watching a lot of podcasts with people who knit, either they throw or they flick, and they've been sometime talking about that they have tried continental knitting and that it's working faster for them. And as I'm already knitting continental, I've been thinking that why should I learn, you know, doing it in another way that is slower. But then I've also been thinking that maybe, you know, I want to try just for the sake of trying and learning something new. And also to, I mean, you would use your hands and your arms and your muscles in a slightly different way, so maybe it would be good on your body, really. But then I've been thinking that instead of throwing, which as I get it, means you put the needle, your right needle into the stitch, you hold on to it with your left hand if you need to hold on to it, and you let go with your right hand completely and you pick up the yarn and you throw. That just looks so labor intensive, really. So I've been thinking, as I've been seeing you guys who do it knit, that flicking makes more sense to me. Then you put your right needle into the stitch and then you just flick the yarn with your finger. You don't really let go, but you flick the yarn over the needle. And as I said, I don't have anything to show you with, so you can't really. So flicking makes more sense to me. But in twined knitting, as I said, you need to pick up and twine the yarn, so you really need to let go and really throw the yarn. So it says in the introduction that this will, if you're already a thrower, you will probably find it easier to learn this new technique. And I guess that is, I mean, the first threshold for me to get over in learning it. That I need, I mean, it is slower going, really, overall, no matter how fast you knit in twined knitting. But as it is also new to me technique, it will be even slower, and that is somewhat frustrating to me. But as I said, I've been doing some reading, and I am kind of right about to start trying. So that is coming along, and I will talk more about that because I find it very, very interesting. And then I also want to what do you say? Words! there is a new podcast out there that I want to tell you about. It's a girl called how did she say it? She said it like, my name is Caroline, but you can call me Caroline. I think it was something like that. She's from the Netherlands, and she just started her podcast. She has 1 episode up, and it's really good. She's so natural, and she's funny, and you need to watch it. Her username is Wallbox with 1 L. Yeah, 1 L and 1 O, or 2 O. So it's WOLBOX. And the podcast itself is called sjomajlin. No, Zazu Podcast. She also has a web shop, and now I'm confused. Let me just. So it's ZAZU, and I guess that is. It depends on. You either say Z or you say C, right? Depending on what side of the Atlantic you live on, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. And really I'm just talking to delay time. Zazu, Z-A-Z-U podcast. And she has 1 episode up, and it's called Bloopers. And she's really, really funny. So do check her out, because she seems to be... She has a good thing going. Check her out. Yeah, and I was thinking that it was quite a few weeks since I had my favorite thing of the week. So I was thinking, what is my favorite thing of the week? But I actually do think that it's podcasts in general. I've been listening to a lot of audio podcasts, both about knitting and not about knitting. And I know I've had this as my favorite thing before, but it really strikes me sometimes that I really, really like this. And also the video podcasts and this new podcast, really too. So since you are watching this, if you hear that I'm saying this, you obviously are watching video podcasts, but if you are not watching a lot of them, give some other ones a try. And I know that it's time consuming and you might not have the time for a lot of podcasts in your life, and that is fine. But give it a try. And also audio podcasts. I just love listening to audio podcasts when I'm, cleaning or doing the dishes or out walking or, doing other stuff. And it's really, really enjoyable. So give it a try. Yes, that is it for the regular podcast. I will talk a little bit more about this camp that I've been to. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. And if you're not, that is totally fine. I will most likely see you next week. I don't have any plans that will interrupt the podcasting schedule for the time being, but it's summer, I have time off from work, something might come up, and we'll just have to see. But as I said before, my aim is still to upload once a week, so I will probably see you next week, or otherwise I will see you on Instagram. And well, thank you very much for sticking around, and like and subscribe and comment if you want to. And as I said, sjomajlin on Instagram and Ravelry as well. So, however, this camp, you guys, this is the 13th year, I believe, that I've been part of this camp as part of the staff, which I guess is what I would call it. When I was a kid, my mom used to be involved with this camp. So the camp itself is on a campsite with, it's kind of, how do I even explain it? It's like a big main building where you could have it's a restaurant, and you could have conferences there, really. And then there is hostel lodgings where we lived. And then there is also a camping site, mostly for caravans, but also for tents. So when I was a kid, my dad and I used to go there. My brother came with us 1 year or so, but he's older, so he was allowed to stay home. He was old enough to stay home by himself. So my dad and I used to be there when my mom was involved with the camp. So we used to be there camping, and I used to, you know, just run around and make a mess everywhere. So even the first year that I was, you know, part of the camp for real, I wasn't new to it. So it's really been a part of my life. So as I said, I think this is the 13th year that I was part of the staff. And since a few years back, I've been sort of the head of the music, which is very interesting. There aren't a lot of camps for adults, at least not here in Sweden. And I would say that there are some camps, but then, or that you could call camp, but then it's probably like on a subject, like you could go to, well, a knitting retreat could be sort of like a knitting camp, right? But there are no like camps. So for children or teenagers, there are quite a few different camps where you do different stuff. Like it doesn't really have, you know, a theme or a subject to it. And this is kind of a camp like that, so it's kind of a teenage type camp, but it's for adults. And there is a lot of music, and there is a lot of crafts, and there is a lot of, I don't even know, we just do a lot of stuff. And as I said, there is a restaurant, so all the food is, we don't do like the housekeeping stuff, which is good. And so we do, I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, so the camp is called You Are Loved, but in Swedish, Du är älskad, you are loved. And we're talking so much within the staff group that this is something we really want to tell the campgoers, because these are people who not always, I mean, they are not always accepted, really. So we really want to give that to them, that you are loved just as you are. And we are so often talking about, like, are we doing that though? Which, I mean, I believe we do, but are we really? Because the thing is that I, as a staff, I'm getting it back so much. And I'm getting so much joy back, and I'm just receiving so much by being part of these camps. And we all talk about it like that, like, who is this camp really for? Are we giving them something, or are we receiving even more? And it's probably, you know, it's probably balanced, as things usually are. And it's just so wonderful. And how much, I can't even tell you how much I love this camp, and how it just fills me up. So that is why I want to talk about it some more. We do share the lodgings. So me and another staff member shared our room, which is like bunk beds, 2 bunk beds, with 2 ladies who were, what do you say, campgoers. And that is how we do it. So we help. They might need some help with, you know, brushing the teeth, or deciding what clothes to wear, or helping the shower, or whatever. The 2 ladies that I shared my room with, they don't really need much help at all, but they need, you know, someone to talk to them and have a good time, because it is, I mean, it's their holiday, really. Some of them go to a lot of different things, but some of them really, this is their only vacation. So we really, sorry, I'm just itching. We really want to give them, you know, a really good week, or however many days the camp is. The ladies that I shared my room with, anyway, they're very easygoing, and they're super sweet and everything. However, they're snoring, which is fine. I probably snore as well. And they sort of talk in their sleep, especially one lady. She meows. It's like a, what do you say, verbal tick she has. She meows. And then she does this, you know, sort of beckoning cat sound. And I believe, because I'm not really used to having, you know, sounds when I sleep, so I didn't sleep very well. And I believe that she sometimes just lay awake in the night and, you know, sort of talk to herself and meowing and like giggling. And then I also believe she meowed in her sleep. So I would wake, so she was in the bunk below me. So I would, you know, be kind of awake and then just hear meow. And I would be, I mean, it's so adorable. And I would, you know, be like, okay, I can't laugh out loud. I need to be quiet. But yeah, it's just, as I said, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but this is something that just fills me up so much with love and happiness, and it's just amazing. So this year, as I said, we had the rainbow as a theme for the camp, talking about, so not the pride version, even though it can, you could read it into that as well, but talking about that, so we did these beaded bracelets as well, saying that there is room for everyone is needed, diversity, and we really wanted to talk about that. And then overall it is a Christian camp. You don't have to be a Christian to go to it, but we do have a little, what do you say, it's not like a service, it's just like, you know, maybe a 15-minute little mini service, I guess, in church each night, singing some songs and saying some good words. And then we also talked about the rainbow as being the sign from God, you know, that I don't even know what it's called in English, but after the flood, God sent the rainbow to as a sign of His promise to us that He will keep us. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So we talked about that a lot. And then on Sunday, we sort of finished the camp off with a Sunday service, which is always very lovely, and it is it's a unique and special service, and it's not at all traditional, I would say. And me, as being responsible for the music, was going to play the piano to the songs that we were singing, which is fine. And then it was like, oh, and then we need a hymn for, you know, singing together. And I was like, yeah. So I did post this to Instagram. And I know this. I mean, it's been the same for a couple of years now. I know this, but I don't, that is, to play the piano, the grand piano, to the hymns with the congregation is a special way of playing the piano, and I don't do that. I haven't learned that. So I was like, okay, here we go. That is very interesting. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Someone might be disappointed, but I'm not. So that is always very, very interesting and challenging. But as I posted it to Instagram, I just wanted to tell you that it turned out fine. I'm happy with it anyway. But then, as I said, as I drove home, I actually got company in the car on the way home, which was good, because we were talking and I wasn't sleepy at all. I guess I would have been very sleepy if I had been on my own. As I said, it's about a 2.5 to 3 hours drive on a very, very boring road. And I was just so tired. So as I got home, I unloaded the car and I just crashed into bed. Yeah. as much as I love that camp, as I hope you can tell, it's good that it's not longer, because I wouldn't be able to cope. And that is, I don't know, I could talk about it forever, but I guess I should cut it short as of 45 minutes, or I didn't just talk about that. Yeah, I am leaving in a couple of hours to do some cafe knitting with some ladies. I was cafe knitting on Tuesday as well, so hopefully I will be able to catch back up on this to where I was, and keep going from there. And hopefully I will not melt in this crazy heat that we're having. I will probably have to put something else on though. So yeah, I need to get this uploaded and into the computer, the other way around. And I've just missed you. I don't really want to say goodbye because I've missed talking to you. But I will let you go now. Do take care. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.